Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Today is July 14th, which is actually my Aunt Joan's birthday. So today for math, we're going to be starting on page 274. For page 274, it says, imagine your place value chart. Write down how you might count from the first number up to the second number. Underline the numbers where you bundled to make a larger unit. So whenever I hear this, a number line sounds easiest to me. So on my paper or my whiteboard, 476 to 600. This is going to be my starting number, 476. I want to get to 600 in the easiest way possible. So here is my open number line. An open number line doesn't have any numbers. This is where you can add in the numbers that you like. So 476. I want to get my ones place to go up to the nearest 10. So how many ones do I need to add to get this 6 to a 10? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I need to add on plus 1 4 times. So here's my one hop, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, and plus 1. So that brings me up to 480. The next thing I want to do is I want to get my tens to the next 100. So how much do I need to add in my tens place to get this to 500? 480, 490, 200. So I have to add 20 more. So I like to make 2 hops for my tens. Plus 10 and plus 10, which is going to bring me up to 500. Now I have a very friendly number. I went from 476, added on 4 to get to 480. From 480, I added 20 more, 10 plus 10, to get to 500. Now I need to get my hundreds place to 600. So 500 plus 100 more gets me to 600. So I'm gonna make a huge jump because I'm gonna add 100 more. And that's going to get me to my ending number, which is 600. So for me, this is the easiest way to get from 476 to 600. So what it means by bundling in the directions, it's how you created your tens and your hundreds to make it easier for you to add. So number 2, 3, and 4 are all the same. So that's going to be our example for that page. On page 276, we are going to write each number in expanded form, separating the total value of each of the units. So number 1 is 231. Actually, let me write it down a little bit lower. 231. I'm going to label my ones, my tens, and my hundreds. So here's my number 1, 231. In order to create expanded form, it doesn't matter which place value you do first, but I like to do my hundreds first. And whenever I have hundreds, it has 2 zeros behind it. So this 2, to create 200, this just represents 2. This represents 20. And this represents 200. So 200 plus 3 tens. Remember, this represents 3, but I have this in my tens place, so 30 is represented by this. And here's my ones place. And in my ones place, we don't need another number behind it because our ones only has 1 digit. our tens has 2 digits and our hundreds has 3 digits. I'm going to do one more just in case. Number 2 is 312. I'm going to label my ones, tens, and my hundreds. So our hundreds place is represented with 2 zeros behind it. So we have 300 plus my tens. I have 110. Remember, this is just represented by 1, so we need to add our 0 behind it. And our ones place has a 2. 312. 300, 110, and 2 ones. On the back side, it's actually opposite. For page 277, number 9 has 2 plus 30 plus 100. And it is in expanded form, but they want you to put the number in standard form, which is just a regular number. So you can do this 2 ways. I'll show you both ways. I'm going to put my ones, my tens, and my hundreds place value chart here. Oh, I just hit myself in the nose. So here's my ones, my tens, and my hundreds place. Also, it might be easier for you to line them up. So I'm going to put my biggest place value on top, which is 100. Then I can line up my 30s. And then I can line up my 2 in my ones place. So whenever I'm adding or joining numbers together, I always start in my ones place. 0 plus 0 is 0, plus 2 more is 2. So here's my ones place. My tens, 0 plus 3 is 3. And my hundreds place, I only have 1 number there. So 1 plus nothing is 1. So my standard form for this number is 132. For me, it's easier to be able to visualize my ones, my tens, and hundreds, so that's why I like to line them up like this. But if you remember that your hundreds is represented by 3 digits and you have 2 zeros in your tens and your ones, you'll know that 1 goes here. In your tens, we have it represented by 30, which is 3 and a 0. That's going to go in your tens. And then our ones place is just a 2. Okay, so 277 is write our number in standard form instead of expanded. And 280, 281, and 282, it says, show each amount of money using 10 bills. So 10 bills is 10 different dollars. Use 100s, 10s, and 1s. Whisper and write each amount of money in expanded form. Write the total value of each set of bills as a number bond. So on number 1, the number of bills that they want us to create is 136. Whoops. I'll get that later. So 136, let me write it. $136. So I need to find out what bills, if I had money in my hand, what bills I would need to create this number. So let me draw my boxes real quick. There are 10 boxes that they want us to fill. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so here's my number up top, 136, and here are my 10 boxes that it wants us to fill. So the first thing I need to do is look at my ones place. How many ones do I have? Well, I have 6 ones, So each square, we're gonna pretend that it's actually a dollar bill that we're creating. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 $1 bills. Next, I need to look at my tens place. How many tens do I have? I have 3 tens. So I need to represent, there's not a $30 bill, so I have to use tens. So I have 10, 20, 30. I need 3 $10 bills. 10, 20, and 30. Now, I need to look at my hundreds place. There are $100 bills, so how many $100 bills do I need? 1. So here's my $100 bill. So that's what your boxes are going to look like. But if you look at number 1, 136 equals, that's where it wants you to write your expanded form. So what I'm going to do on the line, I'm going to pretend that this line is a lot bigger and it extends to right here so I can help you write it out. Since I started with my ones, let's go ahead and start with our ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I had 6 plus, how many tens did I use? 10, 20, 30 plus 30 plus, how many hundreds did I have? 1 100. Just like that. I'm gonna do one more with you. These are actually a lot of fun. All right, our next one, number 2. Same thing, 451. So $451. Let me draw my 10 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 boxes. Okay. So I'm going to start with my ones again. This is my ones place. How many ones do I need for my dollar bills down here? I only need 1. So there's my $1. Now I can move on to my tens. How many tens do I have? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So I need to fill out 5 $10 bills. 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. And how many hundreds do I have? 4. But since there's only $100 bills, I have to put 100 in each box for 400. 100, 200, 300, and 400. So there I filled out all 10 of my bills. And then underneath it, it says 451 equals, and that's where we do our expanded form. So how many ones did I have? 1. Plus how many tens? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Plus 50. Plus how many hundreds did I use? 100, 200, 300, 400. $451. So pages 280, 281, and 282 are all the same. You're going to stop on page 282 today. And I hope I'll see your completed work this evening, or I'll see you on my evening Zoom.